Last of Us 2 remake reportedly in development, and Days Gone 2 pitch rejected. Reported turbulence in Sony's smaller studios. So this is an article on IGN, but I saw it kind of all over the place.
Yes.
And let's just kind of read through here real quick, and then we can discuss about what's going on. Sony Studios are reportedly working on a remake of The Last of Us, while Sony Bend begins work on a new game after an unsuccessful 2019 pitch to make Days Gone 2. In a new Bloomberg report into dissatisfaction among Sony's lesser known studios, sources say that a Last of Us remake codenamed T1X was started by Michael Mumbauer, the founder of Visual Arts Service Group, a Sony developer that traditionally assists development on PlayStation Studios games. Mumbauer apparently assembled a new 30 strong development group, and after passing on the idea of a remake of the first Uncharted game, settled on a remake of 2013's The Last of Us. However, the team reportedly ran into trouble after Sony kept their existence a secret and refused to offer extra budget. Head of PlayStation Studios Herman Holst apparently deemed the project too expensive, and Mumbauer's team was moved to support development of The Last of Us 2. Bloomberg sources say that after The Last of Us 2 was complete, Sony moved multiple Naughty Dog developers onto the T1X project, and the remake effectively became a Naughty Dog project. Mumbauer and other original developers have now left the company, but development on the remake is apparently continuing. Um, and as part of the same report, Bloomberg also says that Sony Bend pitched a sequel to Days Gone after the game's release in 2019, but was rejected. Sony then apparently moved Bend developers onto two Naughty Dog projects, a multiplayer game, presumably the standalone Last of Us multiplayer game, and a new Uncharted project. And as a result, some of their staff also left. And then we have an update here. Reports that its source claim a Sony Bend developer Uncharted game was planned to be a new chapter for the series, possibly a prequel, and was intended as something of a reboot for the series. It's unclear if those plans have persisted with Bend off the project. Um, so, yeah, there's a lot going on in that article. Um, but let's focus on the one main part. Uh, Sony working on a Last of Us remake,
Okay.
um, a game from 2013 that already had a remaster done to it, which you can still play on a PS5 if you want. Um, so what do you think about that?
So it's true that Last of Us is a 2013 game, not that old,
Yeah.
and there was a remastered version done for the PlayStation 4 early in the PlayStation 4's life.
Hmm.
It was also available on PSN. So, I mean, what this says to me, the focus in this article on Last of Us, as well as Uncharted, is that they're trying to leverage those properties because currently in development or about to be released are the Last of Us TV show for HBO
Hmm.
and the Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland.
Yes.
So I can only assume that, they want to, profit off of whatever hype is surrounding those properties.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Konami re-released Castlevania Symphony of the Night, like the Resurrection combo when the Castlevania animated series came out. They
Yep.
weren't really related except for like in terms of those properties, but they wanted to bank off of what popularity was going on for Castlevania.
Yeah.
So I assume that this is in tow with that.
Yes.
What do you think?
That's exactly what I think. I think it's a business move on their part, pretty much.
Yes.
But as you can see from the article, what happened, what it was a result of that was that these smaller studios that they bought out are very unhappy doing that kind of work, and so they had a lot of people leave those studios. Um, you know, which is totally fine. That's their right. Um, and
Yes.
I hope that they are able to land back on their feet and kind of work on something that they find more meaningful. Um,
Well, this is
and
all part of the larger picture that we've gotten of Sony as of late, which is, they don't want to focus on smaller studios, smaller game projects, maybe
mhm,
like B type games.
yeah,
They want to focus on the large blockbuster type games and multimedia experiences.
yes, and
So,
as
so I
we
mean, we saw that with the shuttering of Japan studios and all these
yes,
other smaller studios. But go on, sorry.
yeah, no, that I was just going to bring up the shuttering of Japan studios, and it's I don't know, it's definitely their call. They can do it. It is a business move, like I said,
It's always
but
going to be their call at the end of the day.
it is going to be their call at the end of the day. But here's a question for you: uh, would you be interested in purchasing a Last of Us remake?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, the short answer is no,
yeah,
but the long answer, and this is just me going into detail for anyone that cares to hear it,
yeah,
is literally, the Naughty Dog of today isn't the same Naughty Dog that maybe made the original Uncharted and the original Last of Us. They're the ones that made Last of Us 2.
yes,
And I'm not a fan of that Naughty Dog.
yes.
So that coupled with how many PlayStation 5 games do you own that you've purchased personally?
I think I have four.
And you've
Um,
purchased them. You've purchased each.
oh,
I'm saying ones that you've purchased personally.
oh, yeah, four. I have four physical PS4 games or PS5 games. I have
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So
You have Demon Souls.
Demon Souls. I bought Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
I thought your sister got that for you.
She got it for me, but I count it as a personal purchase because it was a gift. So,
That
uh,
doesn't count. I'm telling you the ones that you purchased. And the reason why I'm putting that the disclaimer
yeah.
is literally because that $70 price tag is a lot.
Well,
And and
DMC
and, and
5 was cheaper. I think that was like
that was
40.
also a gift.
Yeah, that was a
But
gift.
what I'm
But
trying to say is that that $70 price tag is a lot, and
it
it
is.
makes me really kind of refocus my efforts in terms of what I purchase
Yeah,
when it comes to these games and when I purchase them, especially when in the previous generation, as soon as games came out, it wasn't like a month or two later that there'd be a discount.
exactly.
So, you know, if they're bringing this out at such a high price and the changes are not, substantial, comparatively speaking, to something like Last of Us Remastered, because I literally just played Last of Us Remastered before Last of Us 2 released.
I know, and you can, and like I said, you can play it on your PS5.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You could like
And the
this.
multiplayer is still available on that too. There's
Yeah.
no
So
but granted, what I'm trying to say is like the the studio hasn't really made games that I've been wanting to play,
yeah,
and the price is prohibitive in terms of new games coming out for the PlayStation 5. So
yeah.
it makes those that's the long answer to to a simple question. How about you?
Um, yeah. So I'm more on the. So I'm first of all I'm hesitant that they're not going to mess up the story in some way or the game in some way because if if you can play the original uh, remastered version
Yes.
on the PS5 and it's going to run great, it's going to look great. Um, but then they come out with a remake. Well, they're going to have to do something different because why would anyone buy a remake if they make it like extremely similar to the first one? They have to differentiate it somehow
I mean,
because
it happens all the time. We can look at Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade, aside from the DLC, which it is DLC,
yeah,
the Yuffie DLC, aside from that stuff, it's barely a step up.
Okay,
in terms
so
of upgrades.
okay, so do you think that off the top of your head, would you think that they're focusing on more of like, hey, this is an optimized, upgraded, 4K PS5 version. Maybe we added some new cutscenes in, and that's it.
I mean, that's what they did with remastered. Remastered included the what was it? I want to say Left Behind. Was it? Yeah, I think it was the Left Behind chapter, and the DLC, as well as the base game running better than it did on marginally better than it did on the PlayStation 3. But the
Yes.
PlayStation 3, it was already amazing on that system.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It was the
I mean, yes,
pinnacle. It was the
yeah. So
pinnacle of
yes, it
PS3.
ran well on the PlayStation 4. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but if I was still playing on the PS3, I wouldn't be unhappy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So honestly, I think you made the best points there. One, the price point. Is it going to be worth paying that much when you can just play the PS4 remastered version on the PS5? And two, it's a different Naughty Dog. It's not the same. It's not the same exact studio that made the original. So
So what changes would be made, if
yeah,
any? And are they substantial? It's and like you brought up, what if they change the story in any kind of way
yeah,
in order to make it more like, I guess, cohesive with Last of Us 2?
yeah,
They could do it. It's their property.
yes. So yeah, these are all good questions, and yeah. So I'm gonna answer you the short answer as well. At this point, I'm not interested in a game like this. So there you have it. But the long answer, like you said, you know, the price point, what's going to be the difference here? I mean, is it going to be worth it at all? So let's see what they come up with. But to sum it up, the main point that I wanted to make was, and that you already made, is Sony is diverting most of their resources towards these flagship titles,
Yes.
and what's happening is a lot of smaller developers are unhappy working for Sony right now, and they're leaving the company. So